Michael as he comes up to the stage.
How's everybody doing? Alright, here we go. So the most amazing girl I've ever seen in my life walked into the bar that I'm working at, and she comes up to me and she orders a drink, and I was like, I made this corny joke and she didn't laugh, and she walked away. Luckily for me, it was Fleet Week, so after 10 minutes of dealing with all the sailors hitting on her, she came back to the bar, and I started talking to her, and not only was she the most amazing girl I've ever seen in my life, she was also really intelligent, she was so beautiful, and also she liked a lot of comic book stuff that I kind of like, which is kind of dirty, but I know, she was into it. So we got to talk, and I was like, I so got this, you know? And I turned around, and I was like, I'm gonna write my number down on this piece of paper, and I'm gonna hand it back to her, and she's gonna call me, and we're gonna go out on a date and whatnot. And when I turned back around, she was gone. And I was like, man, oh, holy shit, the girl of my dreams just walked out on me. So I got really sad and I got really drunk. And I became like the bartender that was complaining to the patrons and how, like, oh, the girl of my dreams just like walked out on me, and it was like I don't know, miserable. But 2 weeks later, she walks back into the bar, and I was like, oh man. And she came up, and before she even said anything, I was like, hey, take my number. You know, you're the girl of my dreams. And I didn't say that. I just gave her my number, and she goes, I don't call boys. And I was like, oh my God, I was heartbroken. And she wrote her number down on a piece of paper, and she goes, but you can call me. And I was like, oh, this is awesome. So that night, after she left, I got really excited and I got really drunk again. And I got off of work at like 5 o'clock in the morning, and I decided to call her at 5 o'clock in the morning. And for what I remember, the call kind of went like, hey, dude, I really like you. I'm not crazy. I know most guys wait like two days, 2 weeks, two days, but you're cool. I mean, if you want to call, oh, by the way, this is Mike, the bartender from the bar that you were just at, you got your number too. If you want to call me, it's cool. You don't have to if you don't want to. And I was like, man, I fell asleep that night and I woke up the next day, and I was like, did I call that girl? And I looked at my phone and I did. And I was like, I ruined this, you know? But she called me back, and she told me that she thought my message was funny. Well, I wound up setting up a date with her, and we went out on this date, and I was like getting ready for the date, and I was like, I'm gonna put on my best button-down shirt, and I'm gonna put my best jeans on, and I think I put a sports coat on, and then I was like, I'm gonna take her to one of those like fancy restaurants that's owned by somebody from the Food Network or something, and to impress her, you know, because like this is the girl of my dreams, you gotta impress her. So we get out there, and I go to meet her, and she's like, hey, I just, you know, would you mind walking around New York City? I would like to see the city, and I've never seen it through somebody's eyes that lives here. And I was like, all right, that's cool. I'll walk around New York City with you, you know. So we're walking around, and I'm a sweater, you know, and it's July, so you know what it's like outside right now. And now I'm in a sports coat and my nice button-down shirt and my nice jeans, and I'm just sweating everywhere, like a lot of sweat, like front sweat, armpit sweat, back sweat, and I had the beads on I was like, I ran the New York City Marathon, but I was just walking around being like, that's the Empire State Building, you know. And we finally, she's like, hey, do you want to go to this bar? And I'm like, yes, I want to go to this bar. So we go to this bar, and we go inside, and of course it's the one bar in Little Italy that has no air conditioner, and it's got open bay windows, and you're like, oh, it's great, get the breeze. And I'm like, no, there's no breeze, I don't need a breeze, I'm sweating, look at me. So we're sitting there talking. She had a couple drinks. I think I had one drink. I just kept refilling it with my sweat. And I had to excuse myself because I was like, man, I got to get out of here because I was just so sweaty. And I was like, this is the girl of my dreams. I can't be sweating in front of this girl because, you know, like, she's amazing, you know? And I walk back and I go to the bathroom, and I'm in the bathroom, and I'm like, holy crap, look at me, man. Like, I look horrible, you know? And I just sweat everywhere. And I start like trying to put water on my face, and I start drying myself off on the hand dryer, but it's not working because it's hot, and you know, it's making me sweatier. And then I get in front of the mirror and I'm psyching myself up. I'm like, yeah, I think of cold things, you know, like glaciers, penguins, I don't know what the hell. I just think, I don't know, cold stuff, you know, like ice pops. And and I realized, man, I was in this bathroom for like 10 minutes. And I left the girl in my dreams sitting there, and I get back, and she's sitting there, and I was like, shit, I ruined this. I really did ruin this, and I'm sweating, and she's looking at me, and she goes, I need to go home because I have to work in the morning. She was a writer she was interning as a writer for a magazine, and I was like, oh, okay, and I was like, man, that's my way, her way of being like, well, this guy, sweaty weirdo, doesn't want to, we're not going to get together. And I was like, but can I walk you home? And she said, okay. So she lived around the corner. And which I think that's why we went to this bar, because it was like our safe place, and we went around the corner and we're in front of the thing, and I was like, I gotta do something, I really gotta do something, I gotta I ruined this, like this is the girl of my dreams. Like if you're in with the girl of your dreams and you like she was perfect, like everything, like if I could have made this girl, this is who I would have made, and like I'm the sweaty guy, I left her crazy messages, and she dealt with me, and I was like, I gotta fix this, I gotta do something. So I was like, if we go in for a hug, I'll kiss her. I was like, when we go to like hug goodbye, because everybody gives a hug goodbye, unless you're like crazy, but who knows, at this point she might have thought I was crazy, but while I was thinking all this, she was already kissing me. And I was like, oh my God, this girl is kissing me, and she basically put up with all of this stuff, and she, in the end, I was the girl of her dreams, but she was the girl of my dreams. But she's my wife, and I've got 2 beautiful daughters, 7 years later. 5.